I have 3:30. You all have 3:30.
We do.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ms. Brown, do you want everyone other than the commissioners to have their cameras on?
So yeah, we would like everybody to have their cameras on, especially if they're
I would, please.
in attendance. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you. Mr. Cravens is here. Nice to meet you, Mr. Cravens. And Mr. Keita?
Yes, Jacob is my intern.
Very good. Nice to meet you too, sir.
Nice to meet you all.
All right, if you will, I'd like to call this specially called meeting to order of the Mayor's Racial Justice and Equality Commission for the purpose of the 2 agenda items. Does everyone have the agenda with them so we can reference it? So we have 2 agenda items. The first, as you see, is to discuss, and we're gonna, is listed canceling, but in consultation, we want to ask to be changed that to suspend the future meetings until all members have been, have received training. And the second item then is to discuss commission training and dates. And so before we begin our discussion, after I was made aware of some concerns about the commission and our progress, processes, and so forth, I've been in communication with Mayor Gordon, and I thought that was appropriate since this is the mayor's commission, and we serve in her stead, to see what direction that she would like us to go in reference to suspending future meetings, especially after we had already established a schedule of the subcommittees and the full commission meeting on the alternate months. And so in talking with her directly, and then with some other follow-up conversations with members of her staff, she does support additional training because we are about to approach the specific issues of our work after having began our work looking at the historical concepts of the original commission, going back to be brought up to speed about some of the work that's being done. And so she said, make sure I represent her correctly. She is suggesting, and I do agree, that we do suspend the September subcommittee meetings and October. And the October meeting that is originally on our books would be used for the training. The October 5th date would be used for training. And that would not be considered one of the general meetings. That's why that meeting, October date, would be used for training and not a meeting. After which, we would need to call another special meeting because we have suspended the meeting schedule for the purpose of just discussing and voting on reconvening the meeting schedule, although it be abbreviated or be revised because it was not agreed that we would meet, the subcommittees meet on alternate meetings because felt like that was too much time in between the times that the full commission meeting the full commission would meet, thus delaying the work. So I wanted to lay that out before as a prelude to the discussion of item number 2 to discuss suspending future meetings until members have been trained. Oh, and the training there have been some research into companies that do training. The mayor has decided that the training would be done in-house by the legal department that is headed by Mr. Cravens, and or if not necessarily Mr. Cravens himself, an associate or under his authority or under his guidance. Mr. Johnson, I see your hand is up, sir.
I believe Ms. West's hands up was first. I'll go after her.
Okay, wait a minute. I Can't see everybody. Ms. West.
Hi, good evening, afternoon. I did have a question regarding the October 5th week. If there might be able to be a poll sent out, that is the week of Fayette County fall break. And I think there's a lot of people that work for Fayette County Public Schools, as well as our parents of Fayette County Public School students who might not be in town or available that week.
Oh, okay. I did not know that because I don't keep up with the schedule as I once did. Okay, it's fall break. Well, before Mr. Johnson, before I get to your question, can we continue with that? If it be the next week on that Wednesday, does that pose a problem? If we could schedule it that week or another Wednesday of that month? No?
The 12th works for me. It also depends. My question was related to this. How long is this training? How long is this training? Should we be budgeting an hour and a half? Should we be budgeting half day? Because that will play into.
Right now, the goal is to have that training. We as a group decided that our meeting would be from 3:30 to 5. Right now, that October date, the initial date would be for that time slot. If there would be continuation of the training, we would incorporate the training into our monthly, as a part of our monthly agenda. So maybe 30 minutes of the agenda to start would be for additional training as is deemed necessary. Did I say that correctly, Mr. Cravens?
That's correct. I think the intent would be to do the initial training, for this October 12th, I think we're talking about, do 90 minutes of training. I don't know if it'll take 90 minutes, but just kind of get y'all reset kind of in terms of board and commission training. And then if additional subjects for training come up as part of that, we can always roll that into future meetings if need be.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, because would there, to give an example of an added needed additional training may come from the work from the subcommittees as they bring back recommendations and so forth for implementation or to present. That might be the need for the additional training. Is that a good example?
Yes, what I'm envisioning the training to be on October the 12th, if that is the date that we're going to go with, it will be kind of a, let's kind of reset a bit and think about what is the charge of this board? How does this board function? What is this commission? How does it do its work? How can it do its work? That sort of thing. I'm sure there may be other areas specific that you all come up with that you may feel like you need additional assistance and training with, and we can certainly, I'm here for the long haul. So you tell me what you need and I'm happy to help you get where you want to go. So.
Very good, sir. Thank you. Mr. Johnson, did I still see your hand again?
No, I put it down. I just wanted clarity on how long the training was. 90 minutes just doesn't seem like a lot, especially with 12 to 15 commission members. If everybody asks one question about any given thing, we're going to be out of time. So I trust you all that you all have done this training before. So if you feel like 90 minutes is what we need to at least get started back up, I'll go with the prevailing wisdom on that. It just seems like a short amount of time.
Right. The training is last conversation I have is currently being developed and is being fine-tuned specifically for this commission and its work.
Okay.
This commission is not it's been determined that not only this group, but some other groups may need some training to help fine tune their work too. So before we move forward, can we say that the October 12th is a good day to plan for?
You have another hand.
All right, I don't see it, but whoever it is, go.
Mr. Adair.
Mr. Adair.
Well, I have a question about the training that I did for the Bluegrass Community Foundation, the virtual groundwater. Was that not part of something that we're going to require us to have? Is that something?
I can't speak to what the mayor wants to require, but I have asked that very question because I attended that training. It was amazing.
Very much.
And it really helped me to formulate some questions, the correct kind of questions to ask for this very purpose.
I would concur. It was excellent. It was incredible. Thank you, Tiffany. I think you got us hooked up with that. It was great, really great.
Right.
If
So,
you all want to send me, like, who hasn't taken the training yet, that way we can kind of move people through getting that done, and make sure that I could get in contact with Lisa Atkins at Bluegrass Community Foundation, who sponsors the training.
So is that part of our required training or not?
No, the required training that we're talking about today is the training that will be conducted by the legal department, Lexington Fayette County Government Legal Department, that works with the mayor.
That was just a suggested training.
That was just a suggested training.
Okay.
This training is going to be specific to government protocols and so forth, and how to implement, how to properly format the meetings and so forth. And I have no problem with it, because as we move forward beyond months, but in the years, because this is a permanent commission, I think it's very appropriate that everyone be a part of the training, because after the year starts, there will need to be a selection of new leadership, because I agreed for 1 year to serve as chair. And so I think everyone would benefit from that. So, because I don't know who has any idea of wanting to chair the commission next, although we have varying terms of 2 years and 4 years. Mine is 4, but I only agreed to chair it the first year. So we're good with October 12th. So based on what we've discussed about the mayor's plan, may I have any more discussion? I don't want to rush the discussion, but is there any more questions or discussion? Mr. Johnson? Oh, no, I thought I saw your hand. I'm sorry.
I was actually going to put my hand up and stand correctly. We had this training, and we need to have a special meeting to essentially resume our schedules, correct?
I didn't understand you. You're breaking up. Anybody else hear more clearly than I did?
I can take a stab at it.
Okay.
I think that he was saying he wanted clarification that we would have to have another special meeting to resume our regular schedule after the completion of the training.
Yes, because what we would be voting on today is to yes, that is correct, that we would need to have another special call meeting like this, just for the purpose of saying we want a motion that we need to reconvene or want to reconvene the regularly scheduled meetings, because what we are doing today effectively is suspending the meeting schedule until the training. Right now, our training is planned, and we are saying planned for October the 12th. It may not happen, and I hope, but every effort is being made, is going to be made that it happens to the 12th, so that we don't delay the work. Does that make it clear?
That makes sense. If the only business that we will do in this special call meeting is essentially take a motion to resume, could we not schedule a plan, sort of a 5-minute meeting still on the 12th at the end of that training? I'm just thinking that instead of scheduling a whole another meeting on another date, just to resume our meeting starting in October again, could we not sort of just plan for a 5-minute meeting and do the proper sort of advertisement and whatever we're required to do by the sunshine laws to say that at the end of that meeting on the 12th from 5 to 5:05 p.m., we're going to have a special call meeting just to take that one motion. Could we not do that, or is that not?
I don't know that it's not possible. How about, could we go ahead and schedule that, Mr. Cravens, or call Tiffany with a special call meeting at the end of that training session, which is not effectively a meeting?
Right, so I'm not sure how all of our meetings have to be public meetings. So
Right.
the public has to be invited. So we could do a Zoom all in the same room. I'm not sure, but I'll let Mr. Cravens weigh in on that.
Are you all envisioning that your training meeting will be a Zoom meeting or will it be an in-person meeting?
No, it would be, no, I'm not envisioning training to be a Zoom meeting. I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear. It would be a regular meeting that we meet, just like we would meet on that, the 5th, until it was made aware that the fall break, we would meet, I'm envisioning it being in person, not a Zoom meeting.
I mean, if it's properly noticed, you could schedule a
That's
special
what
meeting after the training, as long as it's properly noticed per the Open Meetings Act. But yeah, assuming that you all will be ready after the training to resume your meetings.
And that makes, okay, therein lies the assumption that one training will do it. So I think we would need to wait after we have that training session to make that determination.
All right, sounds good.
Anyone else with a different position? Mr. Fields.
This is just a clarification. What is the body or party who's making, who's developing the training?
Mr.
That would
Craven's
come from
office.
the law department in-house.
Okay. Mr.
I-
Cravens?
I am working with Tiffany to develop the training in terms of what it looks like, but I'm anticipating it will kind of be structural in terms of how you all will conduct your business or can conduct your business kind of as other boards and commissions do, and also a little bit on the powers, if that helps.
It does help. Thank you so much. And that leads me to, the clarification that I'm after is if it's possible for us to have some prerequisite training, such as the links to the parliamentary procedures that are on the board's become a board or commission member website, if that could be made a prerequisite for us, or if that's part of the plan to make the most of the time that we have together and maybe reduce some of the in-room or classroom time.
So when you all became commission members, when you all were newly appointed, that information was sent to you all and you signed an affidavit saying that you reviewed it. Go back and review it if you have not reviewed it or whatever the case. So I think that's where a lot of our confusion may be coming in, especially around public meetings and how that business is conducted, because it is online. I did ask Melissa to go ahead and send those out again this week to everybody on the commission. So it's about 30 minutes, I believe, long.
Right.
But yes, so they were all starting from the same place. That is a requirement because you signed a legal document saying that you reviewed it.
Yeah, and I will say that I'm not envisioning, I don't want to, if there's already a 30-minute video out there that kind of has parliamentary procedures, I don't want to take another 30 minutes of this training to repeat the same ground. So I may glance, I may kind of touch on that a little bit, but that's not going to be, I don't want to repeat what already exists in other places and other forums. I want this training to kind of be specific to you all and how you all will conduct the business of this commission.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, in an effort to help you, is it appropriate that I ask each, the members of this commission if they have specific areas that they feel that you need to address, to send them to, or send them where, Tiffany?
They can send them to me. That's
Okay.
fine.
I mean, I think that's actually a good suggestion. If there's about trying to make this 90 minutes the most productive we can make it. If there are specific areas or specific aspects of board and commission, or this commission in particular, that you all want to get clarification on, or you want me to try to assist you with, if y'all want to send that to the chair and then the chair can route that to Tiffany, I'm happy to help you as much as I can work through those questions or concerns or whatever.
I was going to restate that I was to say I would prefer that they be sent to me. And because I have started making a list, and that way, if they are sent to me the list, I will compile it and send it to you in timely fashion. That way, we won't be a duplicate of the same items, the same areas. Is that fair? Do I have do I have a motion to suspend future meetings until we have received the training?
You have another hand, Mr. Wells' hand was up.
Okay. Who?
Mr. Wells.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Chair Mukes, just before we move too far away from it, I want to backtrack on something. I know it's been stated that we would potentially suspend any working meetings until we are quote unquote properly trained. But it was my understanding that we already said that training would be basically perpetual until we think we didn't need it anymore. So what would be the need to delay the working meetings beyond October 12th? I'm not quite following the logic there. So maybe someone can just clarify for me.
No, I understand what you're saying. I guess the initial training, which would be on the October date. I guess I should use the word the initial training, and then if there are follow-up trainings that are specific to certain areas of that stem from the discussion, then that would be incorporated into our monthly meeting of the full commission. So I guess it is that initial training date, which initial training that we're planning to have for October 12th.
Once again, before we get away from it, I know Mr. Johnson was alluding to the fact of potentially scheduling the open meeting to close out the training session on the 12th. And I'm in favor of doing that as long as we adequately complete the training on October 12th. Then we should basically resume our regular meetings. I'm not stating that as a mandate. Let me make that clear. I'm just I guess I'm a little bit confused if the training is going to be ongoing as needed during our regular meetings whenever they resume. I'm assuming November. Then, yeah, I just don't understand why we wouldn't have that special call meeting on the 12th just to resume our work.
I do support that. So Ms. Brown and Mr. Cravens, if we can have meet the announcement guidelines, I do support that we just go ahead and say that we are going to have the special call meeting at the end of that training date. Can we see if that can happen, please?
It can, we just have to send out a notice within 24 hours of the date.
Right, so we have more than 24 hours as of today. So this is that all right with everyone else if we strive for that?
I think we
All
need
right.
to
What is?
you need a motion and then.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's do the motions in time first. Right now we're talking about suspending the meeting until the training. And we've already established that the training is going to be October the 12th. Right?
I make a motion to suspend the meeting, suspend our regular commission meetings until after the training on the 12th.
I have a second, please.
Second the motion.
Mr. McLaughlin. All right. You have a motion, and the motion has been seconded to suspend future trainings until future meetings until we have received the training, which is scheduled for October the 12th. Now, all in favor? Can I just see your hand? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion has passed. So we've discussed the commission and the training date on October 5th. Now, because it's my understanding and it's by following Robert's Rules of Orders that we at this meeting, we can't add anything to the agenda on a special call meeting agenda. So we'll have to, as I just had that motion, we can't right now say, we can't get away from having a special call meeting. We can't plan it right now.
Sam, I think you can call a special.
Exactly. The chair can call a special call meeting.
Yeah, we don't need a motion to call a special called meeting. You called this meeting.
But I mean, if I call the second one, I can call it and schedule, we can go ahead and, no, I know, okay, I got it. I can go ahead and we can call it right now. We're gonna call one, Tiffany, for that day. And you have enough time for the announcement to have it scheduled on that October 12th. It just can't be added to this agenda. All right. We still love one now? I mean, anybody? No. The work, no, this is timely for lots of reasons to me because the sensitive work is getting ready to happen. For those of you who have not participated or sat through that groundwater training, I didn't sleep well that night, but that training was really amazing. Because even when you think you know, it just, I guess the best part of it gave me more of a varied perspective on how to see things. And I thought now these are the questions that really need to be asked. So, any more discussion? I think we've done our work.
I do have one more question.
Yes, sir.
Are we saying that this commission cannot meet until everyone has been trained? Because that's the way I read the email. Or is it just a majority?
I think when I talk, from my discussion with Mayor Gordon, if there are members who are absent, they will have to go back and review because it will be video. It's going to be taped for purposes of for folks that will not be present at the meeting. And if there are folks who cannot make it on the date of the October 12th date, they will have a certain time by which they must have sat through that training, or then the decision becomes hers. I'm not the dismissal body or anything like that. We didn't even have that discussion about people being put off or anything like that. But there is an expectation that everyone will. But since we have set the date, and this agenda came out, really, there was discussions that were going on even after the agenda came out, because really the fine tuning of the dates and so forth didn't really happen until after this agenda was set, which I was appreciative of, because I don't want to see the commission be idle until February, and that kind of thing. Then the work, then that just further delays the work. Fine tuning the work, I'm on board with that 100%. Because nobody has time to work, nobody has time to waste, but we don't want to delay the work. So does that help answer your question? To a certain extent anyway, I guess. I hope I did.
To a certain extent, yeah.
That's the best I can do right now, but the expectation is the expectation already is that everyone attends the meetings that's scheduled. And so that's why that original date was set, because that was a date that was already on everybody's calendar. And I'm glad Ms. Wright brought it out. That's fall break. And so we try to respect people's time, to travel, be a part of their families and so forth. Anything else? Not, I need a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
So moved.
Second, ma'am? Thank you. All in favor, please.
Yes.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all once again for your time.
Okay, thanks, Sam.
All right, look forward to seeing you all on the 12th. Be safe till then.
Thank you all.